So when you think about your high school years, right? Coming from really no competitive sports background or organized sports, I should say, and how much you developed, what were some of the things that helped you throughout the high school years in sports, in school?
It's got to be the very formative part of my of my journey. Playing, climbing trees, riding my bike down a rocky gulch, and it's like, I think that gave me a really good foundation.
Yeah.
Not just like physically, but I know this now, but having the nervous system totally engaged as you're going down a gulch 20 miles per hour on your mongoose bike, So I just think everything came from there, right? And you learn how to move, and you get that from a young age. I mean, I remember getting those, I thought it was a rush, right? But it's just your endorphins, right? Running through your body. And then really kind of channeling that and bringing that onto the basketball court or onto the volleyball court, and just making it a part of my life. And then once I get to Kamehameha, it's like, wait, I can go to the weight room too? This can help me? Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So you are currently the strength and conditioning coach at Punahou, right? And I love our conversations because, constantly talking about strength and conditioning. That's what I like to do, right? But from high school time, did you take part a lot in, or were you interested in the strengthening aspect? Time in the weight room.
I was fascinated with it. Yes. Anything that I thought could help me get better, right? And take whatever it is outside here and help me to improve as a volleyball player, a basketball player, a teammate, whatever that was, I wanted that, right? Wait, what was the question again?
No, so did you really enjoy the strength and conditioning aspect?
Sorry. See, I'm all over the place. I told you, we're going to have to cut and edit. It's like, oh my gosh. So I did enjoy that. So I don't know, Vern, God, what's his last name? Vern Lilly. Yes. Vern Lilly was our guy at the KQLPO weight room in the back there. Yes. He was our guy. And so I would pick his brain. Vern, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? This is going to help you with this. This is So if I could understand how doing this translated to my performance, right? And he was instrumental in that. As well as my other coaches, because they bought into it. Okay, you guys hit the weight room before, and then come to practice, whatever it is. But Vern Lilly really, and he took the time to tell us, or to tell me why. Why? He took that time, and he took an interest. If you ever had a question, if you ever wanted to know why, he'd let you know. Yes. So that was huge for me. And it just, I think that stuck with me even through my collegiate years. And even past college, right? But it was working with Vern in that KQLPO weight room, right?
That's and just kind of that's where it started.
Yeah.
So in volleyball and basketball, let's start with basketball first, since that was your main sport. What positions did you play? Were you always tall for high school?
I was always tall. I think my freshman year I was maybe the third tallest. Pretty much played power forward, the 4. Once in a while, the 5. My freshman and sophomore year. We had a couple of coaching changes, and by junior year, got put to the wing. Okay. And for some reason, I'm more dominant dribbling with my left hand. So Rob Stevens, he was our assistant coach under Aloha. They were awesome. All of my coaches are awesome. He's like, get out of the post. Let's put you on the wing and see what you can do. Right? And so he kind of taught me the creative part of athletics. Right? Here's the shell. This is the offense we want to run, but there's so many things you can do. Right? So let's get the ball in your hand. You can do this, you can do that, you can do this. And he gave me the confidence. I'm always down low because I'm so tall, right? Hawaii standards. Yeah, the rest of the world, not so much. And he said, you can drive. You can drive. You can move. You can drive. And kind of centered the offense around that position. So it's a drive and dish, drive all the way, whatever. And so that really kind of it gave me a lot of confidence that I'm not so, or it just made me realize I don't have to live in this box, right? Yeah. I don't have to just be this prototypical, okay, you're 5'10", you're going to go to the 4. Yeah. There's other things you can do. Yes. And so he was kind of progressive, right? At that time, this is back in the 80s, man. This is like, you know, unheard of. And after that, it's like state championships, you know, and it's just changing our mindset. You know, he comes in with this idea. He has faith in you. He pumps you up. You can do it. You can, you know, and really, like I said, he was kind of ahead of his time, I think. Yes. So you mentioned state championships. How did you guys do through your high school career? And then how many state championships did you guys end up winning? So I didn't win any in volleyball. Back then, UH Lab School, they were the powerhouse. I mean, volleyball. Untouchable. Yeah, just like, they were amazing. Yeah. Basketball, we won our first state title for Kamehameha schools my junior year. Okay. So that was in 88. Okay. And then my senior year in 89, we got runner-up. But it was just kind of like, and then in volleyball, we were runner-up, I think, 87, 88, 89, sophomore, junior, senior year. Got it. Always to UH Lab. Oh my gosh. They were awesome. They were awesome. They were awesome. Yeah. In fact, I went and played club with them. I'm like, I want to be like them. I want to dominate and I want to be like them. So let's go see what they're doing, right? Yes. Yeah. Let's switch gears to volleyball now. Okay, so 9th grade, you played intermediate. Intermediate, right? Blue, yeah. And then after that, I'm assuming you tried out for vars, right? I did. Okay. I tried out for varsity my sophomore year, and I made the varsity. It was a year of just really committing to my goals, really. At the time, I didn't really know I had goals, but I knew, you know, like, I didn't put that label on it. This is my goal. Yeah. But I got the bug for volleyball after that intermediate blue year. And I'm like, wait, this net is, you know, once I figured out an approach and how to jump and hit a ball, it's like, this is awesome. Okay. So I got the bug. And so when I played basketball, I was also playing club. I was just telling a friend of mine, man, my sophomore, in fact, all the way through, freshman all the way through senior year, I'd go to basketball practice and club right after. I wasn't getting back to the dorms till like 9:30, 10 o'clock. Yeah. Because you were dorming too, yes. Thank goodness I was a boarder though, because everything was right there. Imagine if I had to go drive to Kahuku or whatever. I don't know how those guys did it, but anyway, so I really learned the sport of volleyball my freshman year. Got the super basic stuff. I was going to say, you have to make a lot of progress your freshman year to get to that level to make the vars, right? Yeah. And the cool thing was I always had adults around me supporting me. Namely my coaches, right? My grandparents were here. They would take me to this practice and that practice and sign me out of the dorm, sign me back in. Thank goodness for them. But always had coaches who I think believed in me, right? And kind of not just taught me the techniques, right? But taught me what it was to like really be a warrior, you know, and kind of want better and want more and how to pick people up around you. And you know, I like that. Yes. Like I put it on my shoulders. Let's go. It felt good, you know, to be supported by these adults who truly cared. Yes. You know? Those are all the things that we all know you learn from sports that's beyond the technical skill level, athleticism, right? And that helps you in life too, even what you're doing today. So back to the volleyball. When you were playing the volleyball, what position did you play? And then how did that, I guess, progress through high school? Yeah, so one of the tallest, right? Yeah. So I ended up playing middle, middle blocker. And then by the time I was a senior, I dabbled a little bit on the right side just because I had decent hands. And then I could put up a formidable block, you know, on their left side, the opponent's left side. So started to kind of dance there. Coach Kitashima actually started to run a triangle because there were three of us that were pretty good that could run the middle. So that gave us a few more options. And then I ended up I got a volleyball scholarship to George Mason. Went and played volleyball back there in DC. And in college, I switched and I became a setter by my junior year.
Oh.
Yeah. I switched
to setting. I did not know that. Yeah.
In fact, so here's the story with this, right?
Yes.
So we're in our off season. So club, right, is you can play club in college. And so it's in the spring and we had 3 setters. So one setter injured, had this crazy tumor on her shin. Second setter, the backup setter blew out her knee. So we're in like this spring tournament and our third setter, you know, was a better libero than she was a setter.
Okay.
And so it was just got to the point, my coach is looking around like, what are we going to do? Yeah. I said, I'll try. Let me try. It can't be, you know. And so my sophomore year, which was in the club, we had finished our regular season. Okay. I started setting and never looked back. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I mean, you're the captain of that court. Yeah. You're running. You're going to touch that ball almost all the time, right? Yeah. And then you're deciding, who do I want to set, right? Yeah. So there was a lot more like, you had to think a lot more very quickly. And I love that challenge, like just learning this new position and then getting creative, right? There's that word again. There's so much creativity in athletics, in sport, right? Yes. And I think, you know, for me, it was like, okay, I'm not artistic. I mean, I can barely draw a stick man. I learned how to draw a shaka, you know, but it's like my creativity could come out in what I love doing.
In sports.
In sports.
Yeah.
You know, and so just making that connection and you know, again, having adults, right? Having coaches believe in you and give you that opportunity. Okay, go try. Yep. That was awesome.
That was what you needed.
That was awesome. It's what I needed.
Did you ever play or try setting in club, high school?
I did not.
So that was really, in college was the first time that, okay, you're actually like full on setting.
I gotta say though, so remember I told you in high school, I'm like, dang it, UH Lab, they keep like, they're just dominating. So my junior and senior year, I went and played with, it's called KVC, Kamehameha Volleyball Club. Head coach was Bobby Ohms. He's this mean old guy, but my God, a volleyball mind, right? It's like a beautiful volleyball mind. And his big thing was ball control and your hands.
Got it.
And so it was really learning how to physically set, right? Maybe not on the net, but just how to control that ball. We did hours of that. And so I came with good hands, right? Because of that.
Yes.
You know, it's so all these mundane things, it's like, you think they're so mundane and it's like, oh, it comes in handy, right? That's why we did it. Okay. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's funny how all of these skill sets that you learn, right? You never know what path it's or what it's going to help you with, right?
Totally.
Yes. So now after you got through high school, right? You had the volleyball, you got a scholarship at George Mason for volleyball. What happened to basketball? Was that still something that you really enjoyed doing, or was there?
I would get in trouble. So my coach, PK, Pat Kendrick, right? So I actually became friends with a number of girls on the women's basketball team at Mason. And then they want to beat up on people, you know? So I'm like, I'm ready, I'm coming. So I used to like go jump in their pickup games all the time. And PK would be like, get off the court. You know, she's like, we don't need you injured playing basketball. You go get injured playing volleyball. She was awesome. But it helped me, like it helped my body, I think. You know, and we see a lot of this today, right? Just the overuse because you're doing the same thing over and over. I loved having that basketball outlet because you're using the same muscles completely differently though, you know? And so it helps to alleviate all that overuse stuff, you know? And I was healthy. Was I healthy? I was. I mean, you know, like a sprained ankle here or there, but
nothing season ending or anything.
Nothing season ending. And I truly believe it's because, you know, you get the performance stuff in the weight room, but it was running up and down the basketball court too, you know, and using the different energy systems, right? Volleyball's so explosive. Basketball it is, but you got to sustain too. So I think, you know, in hindsight, that totally helped me to stay healthy.
I think everything throughout your life, even going back to little kid time when you're just playing, right? Riding bike, doing all of those things. I mean, it allowed you to use your body the most efficient way possible to do certain things.
Right.
And that's how you not only perform well, but prevent injuries.
And you got to think like quickly, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a centipede on this magnut tree. How am I going to climb up this thing faster? You figure it out real quick, right?
Quick, yeah.
And so, yeah, it was basketball stayed with me. I loved it. I loved the you know, like because I feed off of that stuff.
Yes.
But I loved running with those girls, and they're big time. I mean, they're D1 basketball players.
Yes. And that gives you your little fix too to actually compete in basketball, even if it's a pickup game.
Even if I was getting pounded, that's all right.
That's all right. Mm-hmm. I can just imagine
I'm making you better. Yeah.
Yes. I can just imagine it and how much fun you're having with all of this, just playing pickup. And